We all remember the era of the Marvel Netflix shows, originally pitched as the first shows canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then, whoops, not canon now, guys, sorry. And then, sorry again, guys, they're actually canon now. These shows, at least 3 of them, have no shortage of fans on the internet. And I am one of them. Everybody knows that Daredevil is peak superhero content. I would honestly say that it's one of my top 3 favorite superhero things, period. But Jessica Jones, Punisher, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist all have some admirable qualities as well. Yes, you heard me right. I did say Iron Fist. There's some stuff in there that's kinda cool, I promise. So with the release of Echo, we have Marvel's return to that genre of show. A darker, slower, bloodier show dealing with actual adult themes. On paper, at least. Sorry to say that Echo is mostly the negative aspects of those Netflix shows and not as many of the positive ones. Spoiler warning for all 5 episodes of Marvel's Echo. This show follows Maya Lopez, who we last saw in Hawkeye as she returns to her hometown. What follows is a really boring and drawn-out show that doesn't even have enough material to stretch into the 5 episodes that they cut it down to. I thought the show was okay, it's better than a lot of the other Marvel shows, but there's just not that much interesting material here to latch onto. I cannot name a single side character who I was invested in. I actually can't name a single side character in general. There are a lot of side plots here that don't get nearly enough time in the sun for me to give a shit about the resolution. Marvel has a tendency to do this a lot, where they think that just having a side character in the plot is enough to make me care about them, when in reality, I need to know them. Think back to Daredevil, how much we got to see of Jack Murdock besides his death. We got to see a peek at him as a person, how he is as a dad, his struggle with his career as a boxer, and immense guilt over taking dives in the ring. This all helps the inevitable scene of his death hit so much harder. We know from adult Matt that his dad is dead, so it's only a matter of time until we see this happen in the flashbacks. That gives us a sense of dread. We know it will happen, but we don't want it to. Echo has an extremely similar tragic backstory, but we only see the tragedy. I do not know her mom as a person or as a mother, so when she dies, it feels more like an explanation to the audience rather than conveying an actual tragedy. There's a side character here named Bonnie, who the show sets up to have some kind of tumultuous relationship with Maya in the past, but that conflict is never explored in more than 5 minutes. And again, I do not know who this person is or what they want, so why should I care if Maya ghosted her? When it comes to her relationship with Fisk, we similarly only see the negative aspects of their relationship and none of the events that built him up to be an uncle in her eyes. Fisk's inclusion as a whole just feels a bit sloppy. They really didn't know what to do with him besides the fact that they wanted him in the show. Nothing that happens with him feels like something that we needed to see. Sidebar, Fisk gives Maya a magic contact lens so he can communicate with her without using ASL, and I hate stuff like this. I hate when technology solves problems that could be interesting to explore in the show. It's taking the easy way out rather than using the language barrier as an actual problem to solve. How cool would it be for Fisk to be having a conversation with Maya with an interpreter present, only for him to get angry or kill her for misinterpreting him, revealing that Fisk is actually fluent? That would be a display of power for him that would unease Maya a bit. Why did I think of this example? Oh right, because it happened in fucking Daredevil, when Fisk reveals that he can actually speak fluent Mandarin and he was hiding behind an interpreter to appear less intelligent. Why does the show assume that Fisk knowing ASL is unbelievable? Him having to rely on technology looks dumb. Either have him stick to an interpreter or actually learn some. Anywho, remember that thing I said about them not having enough material to fill the show? Just prepare yourself for the fact that episode 1 is a 40-minute recap of everything we already saw happen in Hawkeye. This show tries a lot to recapture the magic of the Netflix shows, but it always feels like a cheap imitation. The framing and lighting of every scene feels flat, it never feels properly integrated into the story. Look at this scene at night from Daredevil versus this scene from Echo, and they really are nowhere near one another. The violence and blood that the show has always feels like it was added in post, it never feels tangible. They do a one-shot fight scene in the show, and I can hardly explain why. It just doesn't feel brutal or bloody or like anyone is actually being hit. Think back to Daredevil and about how human he felt and how when he got fucked up, he got really fucked up, and it was often a plot point about how likely it was that he was going to die. Now why do I keep comparing this to Daredevil? Oh, yeah, because that was their marketing for the show, as a return to that form. But it doesn't return there. It might be a step in the right direction, but I'm doubtful we'll ever see another season of the show. My tinfoil hat theory is that Marvel wasn't happy with how this was coming out, so they cut an episode out and added more blood in post so that they could remarket it as a return to the Netflix model. They even dropped all the episodes at once, just like Netflix. But in reality, I think this was just so that they could drop it and move on. The show feels like it just kind of ends. Maya gets a new costume and powers, and Fisk runs away with his tail between his legs. Yet, I never feel like much of anything happened. It's a shame, because I think with the right team and structure, the character of Echo could make for a cool show. But I think Marvel just overestimated what it was people liked about the character to begin with. And now her legacy, like so many others, is a Disney Plus show that people will hardly think about ever again. But what did you think of Echo? Do you think it recaptured the magic of Marvel and Netflix, or do you agree with me that there is a lot more to be done? Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe if you liked this video and me complaining about superheroes. So yeah, bye!